Okay, let me go back to the book. I'm going to flip over to, remember, we're still in 7.3. Let me go to 536. And I want you to see this picture right here. Okay, we have two terminologies that we're going to use here. We have something called the angle of elevation, and then we also have something called the angle of depression. All right, it's pretty easy. You're sitting there, you're looking straight ahead, right? When you're sitting there and you're looking straight ahead, that's the horizontal. Just imagine a straight line, like that's your vision, straight across. Now, there's two ways you can move your head, basically. You can move it what? Up, hence angle of what? Elevation, how far you are from your straight line of vision. Or you could have looked what? Down, and that would be your angle of depression. Notice, be careful here when you look down. This is not the angle of depression. It's always off of the horizontal line. So wherever your straight line of vision is, it's how far you are from that straight line of vision. Does that make sense? So when you say how far down you're looking, it's from the horizontal. Make sense? Okay, I'm going to give you a second. I want you guys to copy that. I'll give you just a minute to get those pictures copied. So this, you really just want these two triangles here. Okay, so let's look at a word problem. I'm going to start out really easy with you guys. We're going to look at question. We'll do an easy one, and we'll do a little more difficult one. So I'm going to go to page 540. And we're going to look at question 78. Do you guys want a minute to copy it? You do? Okay, let me give you a minute to copy that down. Okay, so the first thing you really want to do is translate it into a picture, right? Because once you see the picture, things become more clear. So we see we have a 22-foot extension ladder leaning against a building, makes a 7-degree angle with the ground. Okay, it says how far up the building does the ladder touch? All right, so let me come over here. Yeah, this one's not too bad. So for 78, here's the ground. So we've got this ladder, and this is our building. And let me try to be a little more, okay, I'm going to try to make 70 degrees look more realistic. Sorry, let me do a better job than that. So here's the building. That's still not great, but it's a little more believable. And there's the 70 degrees from the ground. Are you guys okay with that? This is now a right triangle. Are you with me there? And how long is the ladder? It's what, 22 feet, correct? Now, the exciting news for us is that anytime you can break something down into a right triangle, that's great because all your trig functions are defined in terms of a right triangle, and you have Pythagorean theorems. You have both of those tools at your fingertips. And so what are they asking us for? They want to know how far up the building, correct, that the ladder is leaning. So do you guys agree we're looking for this distance right here? Is that correct? What do you guys want to call it? D, or you want to call it H, or let's call it D. Is everybody all right with that? Now, again, we have a right triangle, and we have two pieces of information given, and we're looking for one. And that's all we really need. So we can use a trig function here. Let me bring back the SOHCAHTOA for you to look at this for a minute. You have an angle of 70. What's opposite of 70? D. And what else are you given? The hypotenuse, which is how much? So what trig function takes opposite over hypotenuse? Sine. So you can say sine of 70 degrees would be D over what? 22. Am I right? And notice you only have one unknown because sine of 70 is a number. It's some ratio. So how do you solve for D? You'd multiply both sides by 22. And so you'd say, oh, okay, D is equal to 22 times the sine of what? 70 degrees. Now, 70 is not a 30, 60, or a 45, so we will have to go to our calculators for that. So we're going to do 22 times the sine of 70 degrees. Now remember, I'm in radians, correct? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 22. I'm going to hit sine. I'm going to hit 70, and I'm going to hit second angle, and then I'm going to put in the degree. Now, why am I doing that? Because I'm currently in radians. The other thing you could have done is just gone to your mode real quickly and switched over to degrees, okay? And that's fine as well. So 20 point what? 67. Good, and I was just going to say, what are the units? And you guys said feet. So you know the ladder is about 20.67 feet up on the building. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody's got it? Okay, I know this next word problem is going to be a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do to finish out the day is let you take the last 5 minutes. I'm going to have you go ahead and copy the word problem, so when we come back, we can just go straight to it. So the last question is going to be, this one's kind of interesting. We go back to the book, and we're going to look at question 81. Let me move over. And I like this one because it's just a hair more involved. All right, and what I'm going to do to finish out the day, I'm going to let you guys copy that, and then as soon as you're done, you can leave, and then we'll solve it when we get back, okay? I'm going to stop the video here.